So this is going to be a new series where we just kind of talk about some leadership principles. I'm recording it so that we can always, have something to refer back to, and as maybe different staff comes on or off, we'll be able to have something to point them towards. So today we're going to look at just one of the ways we can be very intentional with our words. Whenever we're saying something on a stage, it's important that we as leaders are very intentional with our words. And one of the ways that we can be intentional is to not comment on some things. There are some things that are just better left unsaid. What I'm specifically thinking of today is one of the worst things you can say, especially in a small church, is to comment on the attendance. And I used to do this all the time. I really had to work very intentionally to stop doing this. Saying things like this, there aren't a whole lot of us today, are there? Or, hey, where'd everybody go? These kinds of things, they might seem harmless, but whenever you have a mic, you have to be 10 times more cautious with what you say, because nothing you say from a mic is harmless. Nothing you say. This is what people will hear. See, they'll hear what you didn't say. And so this is what they'll hear. They'll hear disappointment. Oh. And it's not that you can't be disappointed, but as a leader, you can't let your disappointment show, because what you're telling them is, I'm disappointed you're here. We know that you're disappointed that there aren't more people there, but what they hear is, I'm disappointed, you're disappointed that I'm here. Another thing they hear, oh, it doesn't matter that I came. It is a wasted effort, because nobody's going to come anyways, why don't I just go somewhere else? They hear, I'm unimportant. I came, I got up, I got ready, and nobody's even happy that I'm here. I don't matter. They hear, well, we can't achieve anything unless those other people are here. Another thing that they hear is, well, the goal of this church is to have as many people in this building at the same time as possible. And that's not the goal. That's not the goal at all. Actually, attendance really isn't that big of a marker of success at all. For instance, if everybody that actually goes to our church would come to our church at the same time, we would have record attendance. But people in churches typically don't come every single week. When you do have people that come every single week, they're kind of the exception nowadays, not the rule. Back in the day, that used to be the way things were. Nowadays, not so much. And so when you do have people who come every single week, all the more reason to notice them and appreciate them for giving up their time and being there. The goal is not to have as many people in the church at one single time as possible. It is good to see growth, and if you keep track of your numbers, it helps you to see if you're reaching more people. Yes to those things. However, the mark of success is not how many people are in the building. If that was a mark of success, then Jesus was a failure, Paul was a failure. I mean, you go down the list, all the people that we look up to in the Bible were largely failures. And that's because, once again, the goal is show how many people are in the building are a way to gauge whether the things you're doing are successful. But it is not a means to an end itself. Because then all that we're doing is we're doing church so we can get people to come back next Sunday. So the next Sunday we can see how many people there are so that we can feel good. Eventually we're going to reach a point of being so happy we don't have to reach anybody else because we have the target audience in mind. Well, what happens if we have more people than we wanted to have? And now we have to have multiple services. What happens then? This is more people than I wanted. And so then you have to start, chasing people off? Obviously you see that. So the goal here is to love people, love God, serve both well. That is the goal. The goal is to see people get saved. The goal is to allow God to change me. These are the goals. So whenever you are in leadership of any kind, greet whoever you do have with a smile. Let them know that they matter. Show appreciation for them. If you don't feel it, well, then don't say anything bad. Remember when we were kids, our parents used to always say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But here's the thing. As a leader, you don't get the right to do that. You don't get the right to wallow and feel bad. People need leaders. They look to you to be a leader, even when you don't feel it. You have to still pull yourself together and keep going. So I have to just fake it? No, you have to keep facing it. And you have to change your attitude and do what others don't have to do. And you have to keep getting up and keep going. And if that doesn't seem genuine, make it genuine. Do whatever you need to do to change your attitude. Serve 5 people just the same as you'd serve 500 people. Here's the thing, it's not about your ego. It's not about making yourself feel good. If you do a service and there's 2 people there, that's fine. If 2 people come, then you love those 2 people. It's not about your ego, it's about serving the church, it's about doing what God's called us to do. When we're doing worship, we're not doing worship to make me feel better. It doesn't matter if everybody's worshiping the way I want. These are irrelevant things. Am I walking in obedience to the Lord? Am I walking in love towards other people? Doesn't matter when we're doing youth. If there's only 1 or 2 kids there, that does not matter. Am I obeying what God told me to do? And am I loving people well? These are the standards of what makes someone successful or not. If you're not faithful with the little, God will never give you the increase. And when God gives you the increase, if your character has not grown with it to accommodate it, you will not know what to do with those people. You won't know why you've grown. And when you have an opportunity to love those people, you won't be able to because you didn't love them when there were just a few of them. Care for those who are there. Don't pine after those who are not there. When God brings you 5 people, you can either be ungrateful and whine about the 500 people that didn't come, or you can love and serve the 5 people who did come. And I think that if we look at the example of Christ, we see what he would do. So we'll talk more about this in the future, but the big idea I want you to get from today is just be intentional with your words. And one of the easiest ways you can be intentional is by not saying things that otherwise serve absolutely no purpose but discourage people.